Are you ready to hear some bullshit? Well then sit tight, because this is a whole nother level. And I think the time has come for people and artists to abandon Spotify and all the other platforms that operate in the same way and do things you'll hear in this video. This is David, welcome back to McSolaar TV, and let's get to the video. The Velvet Sundown. Look at these guys. Handsome they are, right? Amazing, amazing 70s style rock band with over 370,000 listeners on Spotify. They are a very successful band. They have songs with over 220,000 streams, and rightfully so. I mean, if you read the bio, it's crazy. I mean, the Velvet Sundown don't just play music, they conjure worlds. Somewhere between the ghost of Laurel Canyon and the echo of a Berlin warehouse. This four-piece band bends time, fusing 1917 psychedelic textures with cinematic alt pop and dreamy analog soul. Their sound is all velvet reverb, swirling organs, tremolo-soaked guitar lines, and voices that sound like they've been unheard from forgotten reels of tape. Damn. Formed by the vocalist and mellotron sorcerer Gabe Farrow, guitarist Lennis West, bassist synth alchemist Milo Raines, and the free-spirited percussionist Orion Rio Del Mar. The band feels like a hallucination you want to stay lost in. Blah, 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 bullshit, blah. They don't exist. I Google each and every name. They don't exist. The mellotron sorcerer Gabe Farrow doesn't exist. The free-spirited percussionist Orion Del Mar doesn't exist. And nor does Milo Raines or any other made-up bullshit name in this ChatGPT written bio. It's all fake. The band doesn't exist. But hey, hold on a second. Their live show play like lucid dreams. I went on YouTube and because I wanted to hear these dreamy live shows. Guess what? There's no live show because they don't exist. They are AI created. And yet they have over 370,000 listeners on Spotify. Oh, by the way, they've been out for 2 weeks. Not only that, and all this was reported originally, I think, I'm trying to give credit, the Dead Dirtbag, but this story has been reported and reposted by many, so that might not be the original source. Trying my best to give credit, but several people investigated, and apparently a woman first heard of them and one of their songs because it was in her Discovery Weekly, which is a playlist pushed by Spotify itself. So what does it mean? How is that even possible? An unknown band that never played live, has no history, has no members, they don't exist, in 2 weeks has over 370,000 listeners and hundreds of thousands of streams on their songs. Could it possibly be because maybe, just maybe, Spotify is on it? Spotify created this, and maybe they created another 10, 100, 200, 1,000 fake artists like this? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Could that be a possibility as to why an unknown, non-existing band has hundreds of thousands of followers in 2 weeks and is being pushed on editorial playlists on Spotify? Could that be why? Could that be because there's some sort of backdoor under the table deal with AI companies? And you would say why, right? Because Spotify pays artists. So why would they pay who? Themselves. Remember when they said that you need at least 1,000 streams for you to get paid? And if you don't, it's not that those streams don't get paid. They get paid. They get redistributed to the bigger artists, which is shitty to begin with. Imagine you grind for years and get your songs out, pay out of pocket, invest in your music, and you have like 950 streams, and those streams get paid to the top artists of Universal and all that. This is revolting, is nauseating, and there's also another problem. I listen to the music. It's not bad. It's not bad. It sounds like every band in the 70s because it's a rip-off. It's plagiarism. It's AI circumventing copyright laws and copying artists. It is plagiarism. There's no more time for being politically correct. This is theft, and it's disgusting. And I'm laughing because I've seen this coming. Me and Andrew Sheps talked about this on the channel. Tech companies are disregarding completely art, the musicians, and everything, you know, that goes into it, and they just turn music into another money-making machine. And they can only do it though if people allow them to. Boycott them. It's that simple, right? Every platform, every streaming platform that doesn't have an audience doesn't have power. Artists, stop putting your music on Spotify. It doesn't give you nothing anyway. Streams are fake. What do you think? Those are real streams? Maybe half of them. Those are real listeners, maybe half of them. The rest is bots. Because people, when they see a band that is successful, they tend to listen. They tend to want to listen to, right? If you find a song that has 1 million, 2 million views, well, you say like, well, let me hear what's it all about, right? That's a concept. It's just to water down more and more the music pool and the money they get to artists, because that's the ultimate goal, right? Not paying the artist. The Velvet Sound Down, they don't exist. Nobody needs to get paid. Not the bass player, not the fake singer, not the fake percussionist, nobody. There's no artist to pay anymore. That's their goal. And I think everybody should boycott this kind of behavior from all sides. And I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people here. Well, AI is inevitable, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, maybe, or maybe not. Let me ask you this, who's gonna pay for a ticket for a live show to Velvet Sound Down? Because they don't exist, and money in music is in live shows. Because streaming doesn't pay anything. Artists, stop putting your music on Spotify. You need 1 billion streams to get what, 50 cents? For what? It's completely useless. And it's useless to have a certain amount of listeners on Spotify anymore, because first of all, every artist has fake listeners, bots. And I can show you a trick if you want to see. If you go and scroll to the bio, and below the bio you will see where the main countries where the streams come from. And you go to your top artist and you will see where those streams come from. It's gonna be India, Taiwan, and all those countries that just happen to be having bot farms. And that includes everybody. Why? Because everybody does it. And so it's an even playing field. If you have the money. For an independent artist that doesn't have the money, well, you're effed. Again. So why even use that platform at all? It means nothing at all. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You want numbers? It's monopoly money. I talked about this in a couple of interviews that I've done maybe a couple of years ago. What do you think it benefits you more? Having 1 million listeners on Spotify, or having 1,000 paying fans that love you and support you and maybe buy your whatever you're printing, a t-shirt, a hat, a keychain, or a handwritten letter, anything? What is gonna make you money? What is gonna make you be able to keep doing music? 1 million listeners on Spotify, or 1,000? Look at the different number, 1 million versus 1,000 loyal fans that they give you $10 each, $10 for 1,000. It's $10,000. How many streams do you need to make $10,000? And now you are supposed to put all this work to go on streaming platform and promote your music and try to get people engaged to fight against bots that are made, promoted, and pushed by the same platform. They are your enemy. They're not your friends. And again, with what music they do it? Rip-offs. They steal. That's theft. You go listen to, you know, the Velvet Sound down. I don't care. Let's give them more streams. Who cares? They already have Spotify pushing them. It's not gonna change anything, right? Just out of curiosity. They sound like the 1970s band because that's what the AI trained on. It's straight up plagiarism. And I hope, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen at some point, because AI, when AI train and spit out these songs, is not consciously worrying about copyright, right? It's programmed to make it a little different, but how much different? And my guess, we will see in the future a lot of plagiarism cases and lawsuits, and hopefully the original writers will win, because that's the right thing that is supposed to happen. Because I promise you, there's gonna be many, many, many songs that are not different enough. And here's the other thing, and in my previous videos on AI, I was a lot of people, oh, you cannot tell. That doesn't matter. You can't tell, you cannot tell, you change a little, you change a lot, you record your own vocals. It doesn't matter, you know why? Because this doesn't affect the home musician's producer that makes his music and then put it out. Because 99% of the people are not in for the commercial value, right? You don't sync your music to movies or TV series or commercials. But what if you do? Let's say you're hired by me. I am making a movie. I'm hiring you to make the soundtrack, and you go and make it with AI, right? We release the movie and the soundtrack, and 2 years from now, someone hear it and say like, this is exactly or close enough to what I wrote 5 years ago, and sue us all and wins because it's not different enough. Do you know the financial disaster that is gonna come upon you if something like this happens? So that's the problem with AI and AI generated music. AI is not gonna make it different enough. And whether it's today or in 1 year or in 3 years, eventually these cases are gonna pop out. And it's not gonna be a matter of you did train on copyrighted material, because unfortunately the Supreme Court just ruled a few days ago that AI can train on copyrighted material freely, which is another big problem, but it's past. There's nothing we can do about it. How different is different enough for you not to be sued? And do you want to take that risk? I can promise you this. Anybody who does music for a living, as a musician and an artist, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people at home. Why this distinction is important? Not to be an elitist, right? But because the professionals will invest in their product, right? If you're a single, professionals will invest thousands of dollars in promotion, thousands of dollars in tour support, thousands of dollars in anything that goes with an actual real commercial release. If you do a soundtrack for a movie, the movie has massive promotion. A TV commercial, a TV series, anything that is licensed or synced, behind it, there is an investment. Imagine if after that investment, you find out or you're found guilty of plagiarism. Those are $1 million lawsuits. So think about that if you're using AI, because the chance you're gonna get busted, and I explained the reasons, is not busted because you used AI. No, it's because AI doesn't make it different enough and you cannot know. But this is not really about it. This is about how shitty Spotify is and any other platform or entity that supports and exploit this shit. The Velvet Sound down. But for what it's worth, in here and with the people I work, we're still making real music. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Peace out.